Welcome back. In the previous episodes, we have been building up a picture of Gemini CLI as a tool that reads files, writes code, connects to external services, and automates workflows. In this episode, we go deeper into how Gemini CLI manages complexity through two related but distinct features, subagents and agent skills. Subagents are specialists that Gemini can delegate work to, each operating in its own isolated context. Agent skills are on-demand expertise packages that gives Gemini specialized knowledge and workflows without permanently loading them into context. Understanding both changes how you structure complex tasks and how you extend Gemini's capabilities for your specific domain. So let's get into it. A sub-agent is a specialist that operates within your main Gemini CLI session. Think of it as the main agent hiring an expert for a specific job. Each sub-agent has three things that set it apart from the main agent: its own system prompt and persona, a focused set of instructions for its domain, a specialized or restricted set of tools, only the tools relevant to its task, an independent context window. When the main agent delegates to a sub-agent, the sub-agent's research and tool calls happen in a separate context loop. Only the final result comes back to the main conversation. This last point is significant. A deep code based investigation might take dozens of tool calls and consume thousands of tokens. If that all happened in the main conversation, it would eat into your context budget and slow everything down. With a sub-agent, all of that work happens in isolation, and you just get the summary. Sub-agents are exposed to the main agent as tools. Each sub-agent has a name, and the main agent calls it like any other tool. When it does, execution delegates to the sub-agent, which completes its task and reports back. You never have to think about this as a separate interface. The main agent decides when to use a sub-agent based on the task you give it. You describe what you want, and if a sub-agent is the right tool for part of that task, it gets used automatically. Gemini CLI ships with four built-in sub-agents, all enabled by default. The codebase investigator is the one you will encounter most often. Its purpose is deep codebase analysis, reverse engineering complex systems, mapping dependencies, and understanding how parts of a codebase connect. When you ask, how does the authentication system work, or map out the dependencies of the order processor class, the main agent will typically delegate to a codebase investigator to do the research. It runs in its own context loop, reads as many files as it needs, and returns a consolidated summary without any of that file reading showing up in your main conversation history. The CLI help subagent is an expert on Gemini CLI itself, its commands, configuration options, and documentation. If you ask, how do I configure a proxy, or what does the /rewind command do? CLI Help has direct access to Gemini CLI's own documentation and answers from there, rather than from a general model knowledge. You have already seen this used in plan mode from episode 6. It's one of the research subagents available during planning. The generalist subagent is different from the others. Rather than being a specialist in a domain, it's a general purpose subagent that inherits the same full toolset as the main agent. Its value is isolation. When a task involves many steps, processes large amounts of data, or runs commands that produce extensive output, delegating it to generalists keeps all of that out of your main conversation. The main conversation only sees the final result. Use add generalist explicitly for things like applying refactors across many files at once, running tests and processing a lot of output, or any investigation that requires both reading code and running commands. The browser agent is a preview feature. It's under active development and many change. Its purpose is to automate actual web browser tasks, navigating websites, filling forms, clicking buttons, and extracting information from pages. Go to example.com and fill out the contact form or extract the pricing table from this page. That's the kind of task it handles. Because it's experimental, enable it explicitly in settings.json and invoke it with add browser agent followed by your instructions. When you want to skip the main agent's decision making and go directly to a specialist, use the add syntax with the sub-agent's name at the start of your prompt. Add codebase investigator. Map out the relationship between the agent registry and the local agent executor. Add CLI help. How do I enable checkpointing? When you use the add sub-agent name, the CLI injects a system node that strongly nudges the main model to delegate to that specific subagent immediately. It's a hint rather than a direct command. The main model processes it, but in practice, it reliably routes the task to the named specialist. You don't need to use add for most tasks. The main agent is good at deciding when to delegate. Use add when you have a specific subagent in mind and don't want to wait for the main agent to make that decision. Agent skills are a different mechanism from subagents, though they complement each other. Where a subagent is a separate agent with its own context, a skill is a package of instructions, workflows, and resources that gets loaded into the main agent's context when it's relevant to the current task. The key design principle is progressive disclosure. Gemini only loads the metadata for each skill, its name and description initially. The full instructions and resources are only pulled in when the model explicitly activates the skill using the Activate Skill tool. This means you can have a large library of skills covering many different domains: security auditing, deployment procedures, PR review processes, migration workflows, without any of them consuming context tokens until they are actually needed. The distinction between skills and Gemini.md is important. Gemini.md is a persistent context. It's loaded at the start of every session and stays in context throughout. It's the right place for things Gemini always need to know: your project stack, coding conventions, and architectural decisions. Skills are on demand expertise. They are loaded only when Gemini determines a task requires them. A security audit skill, a cloud deployment skill, a database migration skill, these are only relevant for specific tasks, so loading them always would waste context tokens. Use Gemini.md for what Gemini should always know. Use skills for specialized workflows. It should know how to do when asked. Gemini CLI discovers skills from three locations in order of precedence. Workspace skills live inside your project in the .gemini skills folder or the .agent skills folder. These are typically committed to version control and shared with the team. A PR review skill, a deployment checklist skill, and a project-specific migration workflow. User skills in skills folder inside the .gemini directory in home, or skills folder inside the .agents directory in home in your home directory. Personal skills are available across all your projects. Security audit habits, personal code review preferences, reusable research workflows. Extension skills bundled with installed extensions. Skills that come packaged with an extension alongside its MCP servers and custom commands. If multiple skills share the same name, workspace takes precedence over user, which takes precedence over extension. And within each tier, the .agent skills path takes precedence over the .gemini skills path. That generic alias is designed to stay compatible across different AI agent tools that support the same open standard. When you start a session, Gemini loads only the name and description of each discovered skill. Lightweight metadata injected into the system prompt that tells it what each skill can do without loading the full instructions. As you work, If you give Gemini a task that matches a skill's description, it calls activate skill, but before loading anything, the CLI shows you confirmation prompt with the skill's name, purpose, and the directory path it will gain access to. You approve it, and from that point on, the full skill.md body and the entire skill folder are added to the conversation. And Gemini follows the skills workflow for the remainder of the session. This constant step is why you will see a pause before a skill activates for the first time. That's normal. It also tells you exactly what directory access you are granting, which matters if the skill can run scripts. You can manage skills from within a session using the skills slash commands. Slash skills list shows all discovered skills and their status across all tiers. Slash skills reload rescan all skills directory after changes without restarting the session. The slash skills link path imports skills from an external directory via symlink, handy for testing a skill under development. Slash skills disable n and slash skills enable n. Temporarily turn a skill off or back on. These apply to your user scope by default. Add double dash scope workspace to restrict the change to the current project. Before diving into the file format, the most practical starting point is the built-in skill creator skill. It's the official recommended way to create a new skill. Just ask Gemini in a session, create a new skill for security auditing, and it will generate the directory structure, a properly formatted skill.md, and the standard subdirectories for you. Understanding the format is still worth knowing for reviewing and editing what it produces. So let's look at the structure. iSkill is a directory containing a skill.md file. The directory name becomes the skill name. Place it in .gemini slash skills slash skill name in your project or skill name folder inside the skills directory in .gemini in your home for a personal skill. The skill.md file uses YAML front matter for metadata and markdown for the body. The two front matter fields are name, which should match the directory name, and description, which is what Gemini uses to decide when to activate the skill. Write the description from Gemini's perspective. Describe the conditions under which the skill should be used. The markdown body is the full procedure Gemini follows when the skill is active. Here is a simple security audit skill. The description in the front matter is the activation trigger. Write it clearly so Gemini reliably activates the skill when you need it. The body is as detailed as you want. Skills can also include additional resources alongside the skill.md file. The recommended structure includes scripts for executable tools the skill can run, references for documentation and reference material, and assets for any supporting files. When the skill is activated, Gemini gains read access to the entire skill folder and can use everything in it. One more feature worth knowing, Gemini CLI has an auto memory system that can draft skills for you automatically. It works by running a specialized subagent that scans your session transcripts for procedural patterns you have repeated across sessions. Then draft them as skill.md files for your review. When it produces candidates, you will see an inline notification. Use slash memory inbox to open the inbox dialog, inspect the proposed skills, and promote the ones you want to keep to your skills directory. The system is intentionally conservative. It defaults to producing nothing unless the evidence for a repeated pattern is strong. So most sessions produce no inbox items. If you check slash memory inbox and find nothing, that's expected behavior, not a sign that something is broken. Beyond the four built-in subagents, you can create your own specialist using markdown files with YAML front matter. Place the file in .gemini slash agents in your project or a team shared agent or agents folder inside the .gemini directory in your home directory for a personal agent. The file name becomes the agent's identifier. The YAML front matter defines the agent's name. description, and the tools it can use. The markdown body below the front matter becomes the agent system prompt, its persona, and instructions. Here is a minimal example. One important safety note: subagents execute their tools without confirmation prompts by default. They run in auto approve mode. This is why restricting the tools list to only what the agent generally needs matters, not just for performance but for safety. To configure the built in agents, change their model, adjust their turn limits, or disable one. Use the agents.override section of settings.json. Note the nested structure. Model config grabs the model name, and run config grabs runtime settings like max turns. Flat keys like mode or max turns at the top level of an override block will silently do nothing. From within a session, use /agents to list active agents, view their configurations, and reload them after changes. Now that you understand both subagents and skills, here is a practical guide for when to reach for each. Use a subagent when you want to delegate a specific content task to a specialist. Deep codebase analysis to codebase investigator. CLI documentation questions to CLI help. Resource heavy multi step work to generalist. The isolation is the value, keeping complex work out of your main conversation history. Use an agent skill when you want Gemini to follow a specific workflow or apply domain expertise for a class of tasks. Security audits, deployment procedures, PR reviews, migration patterns. The value is repeatability and consistency. The same procedure applied correctly every time. Use Gemini.md for persistent context that apply to every session. Your project stack, conventions, architecture, not the right place for procedural workflows. These three tools work together. A security audit might use a skill for the review procedure, delegate deep analysis to codebase investigator, and have the project context in Gemini.md. So Gemini knows the framework being used. One more capability worth knowing: Gemini CLI supports parallel subagents, dispatching multiple subagents simultaneously for different aspects of a task. If you need to research several topics at once or apply a specialist to each package in a monorepo, you can ask Gemini to run them in parallel. One caution: parallel subagents doing heavy code edits can conflict with each other. Parallel execution is best suited to read heavy or isolated tasks. So that's subagents and agent skills covered. What they are, the four built-in subagents, the add syntax for explicit delegation, how skills work, including discovery, the consent step on activation, and how to create your own subagents and skills with the correct file formats. In episode 10, the final episode, we bring everything together: headless mode at scale, CI CD integration, and building production automation workflows that combine everything from this series. Drop any questions in the comments and see you in episode 10. Thanks for watching. I am Aksa Zafar, and on MLTude, I teach data science and machine learning in a simple step by step way. Practice a little, and I will see you in the next video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to MLTube for more AI and machine learning tutorials.